All right, call meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Here.
Norman Farren,
Present.
Michael Hugo,
Here.
John Sarantopoulos,
Absent with notification.
Lorraine Lagarde, and Keith Thurlow.
Here. Okay, seating of alternates. Lorraine with John missing, right? And congratulations, Norma, I wasn't here, but I guess you were moved up to a permanent status? Yes. Well, congrats on that. Any addendums?
No addendums.
Okay, Mr. Slater is going to give us an explanation of tonight's proceedings.
Glad to. So obviously, the agenda item with these regulation changes that came from your many workshops was a very, very heavily attended hearing. And a lot of questions were being asked after the public hearing closed, and engaged in some discussion about that. But I thought it was important to just set some ground rules, but an explanation, so the folks that were very, very heavily interested in the proceedings understand what happens from this stage forward. So I did indicate at the end of the public hearing that your commission has 65 days after the close of the public hearing to render a decision. It was tabled to tonight, but that doesn't mean you have to decide tonight. On the ordinary agenda of your commission, you do give a citizen's comment opportunity. It's not required to do that legally, but you do that, and some commissions do. What's very important is for folks to understand that the public hearing on this, that's only intended for people to raise topics that are not on the agenda. Things that are on the agenda, they're either subject to a public hearing, in which case you'll have an opportunity at a public hearing, or it's something that, I'm sorry, the focus of this is things that had a public hearing. They should make their decision only on what was presented during the public hearing. So if, for example, letters have come in after the close of the public hearing, and we advise our towns when that happens that they're public records because someone submitted them, but they can't be provided to your commission. The public hearing's over. So if someone last week wrote a letter in favor or against, they need to get segregated from and not provided to your commission. For the same reason, if someone tries to get up today to speak about that agenda item during public citizen, the chair, you should call the person out of order. And would I please ask everyone here, you had your opportunity to comment on that. Now, turning to when the agenda comes to that agenda item, you should know what typically happens is that to get something for the purposes of discussion, there'd be a motion and a second. So, please allow the process to take place. Someone can make a motion on something that they're actually not in favor of. So it's for the purposes of getting it on for discussion and for a vote. And then there also could be multiple motions. There could be discussion and no motion tonight. People could talk through about things that they heard and hash through it. So it's an iterative process for this body to engage in. It's the only body that's legally entitled to be able to adopt the regulations in the first instance and make the amendments to it. So there'll be a motion, there'll be a second, there could be additional friendly amendments, other amendments, there could be a series of votes that happen. But please don't believe that simply because someone's made a motion in favor of it, that's what their view is. That might be the person's view, and this might be a very simple vote, but given all that happened at the public hearing, my expectation is there'll be a fair amount of discussion. Ultimately, when the commission renders a decision, it gets published, and that's it's over. They don't do a reconsideration after the fact, and it gets published, and then it becomes effective if there is a change an effective date would get adopted. And their rights of appeal of the decision are ones that exist in the general statutes, like any decision that the commission makes and publishes. So I just wanted to, outline the typical procedure for folks to understand that, and particularly caution people against making comments. It could, affect the legality of the process if information is submitted related to the public hearing agenda item during the public comment period. Any questions by the members of the commission in terms of how you expect the procedure is going to go?
So there's, for clarification, just make it simple for the public. Public can't speak. Public can't speak until, except to speak to citizens' comments on topics other than our work here, the text change.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got questions? Anne Marie, you want to do?
Number 5, citizens' comments on items not subject to the public hearing. Individual presentations not to exceed 3 minutes, limited to an aggregate of 21 minutes, unless otherwise indicated by a majority vote of the commission. Public comments can be mailed to publiccomment@killinglyct.gov or mailed to the town of Killingly, 172 Main Street, Killingly, Connecticut, 06239. All public comments must be received prior to 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Public comment received will be posted to the town's website, www.killinglyct.gov. As this is a hybrid meeting, citizens can participate in the citizens' comment by WebEx. To join by phone, dial 1-415-655-0001 and use access code 2631-967-9136.
Okay. Anybody got citizens' comments on any topic other than this PRD thing tonight?
Ed Grandelski, council member, Upper Maple Street, Davil. A couple of comments. I would like to see, when we're having subdivisions or whatnot, the length of these dead-end roads. I don't know where to address it, what we can put a limit on, but it's kind of rough, especially when we can design this stuff. Safety, fire apparatus. You have a dead-end road. If it's a short one, it's not bad. But when some of these, I don't know how long this ones are, but I'd like to discuss that at a future date, but I'd like to be out there and throw that out. The other thing, water sources in our outlying areas. It seems fires that we've had recent past, they're hooked up to hydrants, but there's lack of water. Either the hydrants aren't of sufficient capacity, and so we got to have a tanker trail or whatever, I forget what they call it, but we got to do something to get more water sources. Dry hydrants in various places. But we also have to make them accessible for the fire apparatus to pull in and pull out. I don't know if we can refer something to the Open Space Land Acquisition Commission, because they have some monies or whatnot. I'm hearing there's grant monies out there for, I don't know if you would call them cisterns, fire ponds, or something of that nature that, I don't know who would be the proper entity to apply for that. But our fire departments have a tough time with personnel, and if they got to go a long way to get water, that's even a bigger situation. So whatever we can do, if this is the right, you guys are in the planning of the, planners and whatnot. So if we could do something in that regard to make more available and not have to rely on the water company to run hydrants that people really do not want city water in some of the outlying areas. Thank you.
Anybody else want to? Citizens' comment? Okay.
There's nobody on WebEx either.
Nobody
So,
else,
Chair.
okay. All right, so unfinished business, zone text change application 251354, Town of Killenly, PZ Commission, total rewrite of Section 570 Plan Residential Development, PRD, of the Town of Killenly zoning regulations. Public hearing was closed July 21st. This is for deliberations only. If approved, an effective date must be chosen and suggestion. I mean deliberations only. We're not voting on it?
I put that on there to let people know that, again, it wasn't going to be a public comment, it was deliberations.
Okay. So, anybody, motion want to be made for this?
First, Mr. Chairman, just want to at least say for the record that I did watch since I was not at the meeting, I did watch the Facebook Live during the meeting while I was away for work. So,
As did I, for the record, too. Okay. So,
Lorraine, right?
hmm?
Lorraine,
Lorraine, you watched as well, right? Correct? You watched as well? Because you were not there, okay.
You got to clarify that you're up to speed with what's going on, that's all, for the record, that's all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
All right, is there any motions to be made on this?
So I will, so we can get started for discussion, I'll make a motion to approve the PRD, Section 570, with the following modifications. So Section 570.7, A, densities, 1, I'm recommending we reduce rural development densities from 4 down to 3. Item 570.7B, 2, for lot coverage, recommending we reduce the rural development lot coverage from 25% down to 20. For 570.8, residential life care communities, Section B, Item 2A, rural development, reduce the lot coverage from 30% down to 25%. And then 570, Section 570.10, I, utilities, recommend we add a sentence to begin that says, all planned residential development shall be served by public sewer.
Do we have a second? Anybody? We're gonna have it just for discussion anyway.
For discussion only?
Well, it's a motion, so, well, in order to discuss it, we need to have a
Yeah,
second.
that was what I was indicating earlier on. Somebody's going to make a motion, they could be dead set against the item, but they can make a motion and a second for the purpose of getting it on the table. So seconding a motion doesn't necessarily mean you're even going to
That
vote
it's
for
gonna
it.
pass.
Then I'll second it, just to get it on the table.
Okay. All right, discussion. I think, personally, the public has made it very clear what they want, and that is that PRD, to me, I interpret it to mean PRD to be just eliminated from rural development. And that will simplify everything. But that's my take. Other commission members, go ahead.
Yeah, that was absolutely loud and clear from the public, overwhelming, that that's what they were looking for.
Other commissioners? Lorraine, you want to say something?
I have studied it, and I have an opinion.
Okay.
I agree with the concept of a neighborhood like with amenities where people of varying incomes are able to have a home. What I don't agree with is with a special permit, it should be approved for certain areas, not the entire town. This is just my feeling. I feel if we don't preserve our wetlands, woodlands, wildlife, from now, years from now, we wouldn't be a town, we'd be a city. So my feeling is, I'm not against the concept, I like the concept. I would like to see the special permits being available in certain areas that don't affect some of that. And in that case, I would be for it.
But that's for, we're talking about rural development, so rural development is the outlying areas.
Right, but well, it says anywhere in the town, the special permit could be given. That's what I was
Well,
told.
it's allowed in different zones, so it's allowed in,
Right.
low density, it's allowed in, it's always
Right.
historically been in
So
low
what
density.
I'm telling you is I
medium
don't agree with it in those areas.
density. In which areas? Which
In,
ones?
in the areas where there's woodland, wetlands, and so forth. I agree that there should be special permits in certain zones where it's applicable, because to me, that's the beauty of our town. And as far as I'm willing not to give up the protection of the town and for its people. And if we continue building like that, and I like the concept, I'm not going against the concept, I just would like to see it not in those areas. That's my feeling.
So like you go down Valley Road,
Mm-hmm.
when you, off of Dog Hill, and you got the elderly housing complex, I think that's low density, isn't that zone low density right there? And so that's low density, so it's,
If it's
That's
anywhere near
sewer.
wetlands, woodlands, or wildlife,
which I'm taking that to mean the rural development
Right,
areas, the more
right.
rural
In
areas.
that case, I would be against it.
All right,
That's
Mike?
just my feeling.
I think it came,
Oh,
now it's on. I think it came loud and clear that the first part was the rural development for, wherever it was. The rural development was, the citizens were totally against that part. Second part was they would like to see that the sewage and public water be utilized in all three areas and prohibit the septic systems. Came out that on the last meeting about impact analyzing, which I didn't find any part of that useful, and the other one was to add, I like to see the fire chiefs of the said district added. I forgot where it was, but because they're the first ones on the scene, and they're the ones that has to answer, on page 8, section F on fire safety, the applicable fire chief, district chief, because they're the first ones on the scene, and they're the ones that have to answer for if anything goes wrong. It's, not, the fire marshal and the buildings official can give us their reports and says, yeah, but when it comes to it, it's gonna be the fire chiefs who's next on the line. So I like to see, it be part of, make sure that the fire marshal does present it to the fire chiefs.
I know, it's been a long time, that I didn't participate in the one on Pineville, but typically they were always consulted anyway, weren't they? Or was it just the fire marshal?
The draft language right now does say that the town fire marshal must approve the final design after consultation with the fire district chief. That's in the
So
draft.
it's in there,
Yeah.
so you, yeah, okay, so it's in there, what you're asking for.
Well, Mike,
But
are you asking
it-
for,
Hold on.
Also, it says the dwelling shall be separated by a minimum of 30 feet from all side of the dwelling structure, except for the minimum separation distance may be reduced by the use of fire retardant material and approval of the building official and fire marshal. I'd like to see the appropriate fire chiefs added to that too.
do fire chiefs have approval authority over that, though? I don't think fire chiefs would have that approval authority. It's a building issue. It's a building commission. If it's a fire rating issue, so it's a fire marshal and building official. I don't think fire chiefs have that approval authority.
Yeah, but it's then next on the line.
I understand what you're saying, but that's why the fire marshal is to consult with the fire
If he
chief,
does-
so, Well, I think what you're asking for, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you want some sort of confirmation from the fire chief that the fire marshal consulted with them.
Yes.
So again, but I just want to make, so that's a letter saying, okay, yes, I confirm with the fire marshal, I'm in agreement with this, but the fire chief does not have approval authority over building construction.
No, but he should give his approval.
He doesn't have approval authority, so he can't give approval. He can say, I concur with with this,
okay.
right? And so the
Okay,
fire
yeah.
marshal gives the approval.
Okay, yeah. That he concurs to it.
Yeah. Again, I just want to make that clear. I don't believe he has approval. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think fire chiefs have approval authority over buildings or building permits. That's the fire marshal and the building commission. So just a couple things, just want to point out, so reasons for my recommendations. So one on the, so again, I did hear loud and clear as well on the public hearing that most of the public, again, was against this being a rural development, but want to make clear, we already have this approved in rural development, and what we're doing is tightening this up and making it so that we have a better development. And part of our job is to make sure we balance the needs of the community, which in this case is obviously, housing, with the needs of the rest of the community, which is obviously preserving open space. So I think the changes that I recommended do continue to preserve open space. So again, putting back public sewer, that's key. That limits it to a great deal of, limits the extent of potential development on a PRD from a rural side point of view. Reducing the number of units and reducing the lot coverage. And if you just do some quick math, if you put three dwelling units on a lot, let's assume they're 1,000 to 1,500 square feet apiece, that's probably on the large side. You have a road going through that 1 acre, a road's gonna be 30 feet wide, roughly 200 feet long, an acre is 200 by 200. You just do that gross coverage, right there is about 20%. Right, so you're not gonna get much more coverage beyond that. So again, I think that reducing the coverage and reducing the lot numbers, number of units is going to severely restrict the potential developments in rural development. So, but we do have to balance the needs of the community, which is again, putting some housing opportunities out there for this community to continue to grow. So,
Go ahead.
I think we should remove the PRD from rural areas. I mean, we've got the power to do that just because it's in the regulations. I don't think it was well advertised because nobody seemed to know anything about it. And now that people know about it, they don't like it one bit. So I think that should be removed.
Anything new? Anybody? Stop?
No. Will tell you that we advertise as we are required to under state statute. And we did, we posted to the website, and I know it got shared beyond the website, so.
John?
Because the public hearing's closed, I can't really introduce anything new.
Right.
I can clarify what's in the language, but that's it.
Anything else from the commissioners?
I just want to say that I would approve it. I'm not against the concept, but I would like to see the special permits given to properties where it's better conformed away from woodlands, wetlands, and wildlife. That's my opinion.
Okay. And we're going to call for a roll call vote.
Just for clarity, a lot of discussions on different amendments or potential motions or modifications to the original motion.
We're voting on Brian's motion. But we didn't alter it. I don't think anybody altered it, did we?
Okay, I'm just being
Brian
clear.
made a motion, Michael
If you,
seconded it.
if we vote on, yeah.
Brian, makes sense before you vote. Thank you.
Go ahead and repeat.
Brian had his amendments, he stated them in the
Yeah.
very beginning, right before the vote. I think it should be made clear what
Okay.
his proposed amendments to the version that went before the public hearing are, so that everybody knows exactly what's being voted on. So if Brian, you don't mind, again,
Repeat.
saying how your motion amends what was the regulation that was put before the public hearing.
okay, so my proposed amendments were, so we're following along, is section 570.7A1, reducing from 4 dwelling units to 3 dwelling units. 570.7B2A, reducing from 25% lot coverage to 20% lot coverage. 570.8B2A, rural development, reducing from 30% lot coverage to 25% lot coverage. And 570, section 570.10I, utilities, adding a sentence to the beginning of that says, all planned residential development shall be served by public sewer.
And Mr. Chairman, you're correct, there was, the second, for the purposes of discussion and a vote, did not make any, didn't make any changes, so the motion
That's what
that's
we were
before
voting.
is
Brian's
the
vote.
regulation as amended, the way Brian just,
As
Mr.
presented.
Carr just mentioned, yes.
As presented by Brian.
Would this be a good time to propose an amendment to the motion?
If you get a second, sure, make it, that depends on, I mean, go ahead.
I propose an amendment that we remove rural from PRD completely.
So,
So, okay, so we got a motion to amend.
you got to, the motion has to be to the particular regulation as, are there a particular section that you change? How would you accomplish that in this, under this regulation?
I'm not prepared to,
Help us out, Anne Marie, or Jonathan, either one.
I'm looking at it myself.
Is there a section that we could just do
Well,
what he's
it-
asking?
Again, it would be sections, something like Brian would be doing, like Brian said, it's 570.7, Section A, number 1, remove. Then it would be 57.7, Section B, 2, letter, it should be letter A, remove. Then under Section 570.8, under Section A, densities, rural development should be removed from that.
So he
Then-
could just say, all places where it's referencing rural development would be eliminated from the proposed language.
Because you got it some on the front page, first page, you got
Yeah.
it all over.
Yeah,
It's-
it starts in the definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So all references to rural development under his amendment to be removed, is that correct?
yes.
And Lorraine, do you second that?
For discussion, yes.
Well, it's not discussed, you're
And I would
amending his
approve it.
motion, so,
Yes,
so
I
you're
made a motion
seconding
to
that
second.
amendment?
yeah.
Okay. So we have to vote on.
So now you could discuss that motion if you wanted to discuss that?
Any further
The amendment.
discussion on that motion?
Amendment,
On the
sorry.
amendment?
Does it work?
Anybody? Any more discussion? Norm, Lorraine, Mike, Brian?
No, nothing in additional to what I already mentioned about.
You guys are all set then? Mike?
Yes.
Some kind of indication to me, that's all.
Oh,
Shaking
Thank
your
you.
head is fine, as long as I can see it. Okay, so then we have to vote on the amendment only. And so I want a roll call vote on that, please.
Brian Card,
No.
Michael Huco,
yes.
Lorraine Lagarde,
Yes.
Norm.
Norm Farren, I have the wrong name here,
Yes.
and Keith Thurlow.
Yes,
So we
so the
have
amendment passes.
passes.
Okay, so now we're gonna vote on, anybody else gonna do amendments? So now we vote on the motion with that amendment, the main motion. Roll call, please.
Okay, so we have Michael Huco,
No.
Well, wait a
Lorraine-
minute. That's- Just so you're clear,
Yeah,
you've got an amendment that eliminates it from rural development.
right.
Because I'm under the indication you wanted it in rural development out, or you want it in rural development?
No, I want rural development out,
Go
but there
through.
are others, there's
That
other
other stuff
stuff.
will be passed. I'm just making sure you're clear what you're
Right, but
saying.
there's
Norm.
other
Okay.
stuff that Brian brought up that I don't agree with.
Okay, I got you.
Would you mind
Well,
saying
so-
what?
Well, wait a minute.
Well,
Well,
hold on.
hold on,
So
this
let me,
is-
let me just clarify. So again, all of my potential changes,
Yeah.
right, were to rural development. right? So
Oh,
by
okay,
reducing,
I'm sorry.
by removing rural, those changes go away,
Except
because they're being
for-
deleted. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, except for the one where I add the
Right.
sentence in 570.10I.
With which is utilities.
Right. So all the other sections that I proposed
Oh,
changes to, because you just approved removing it from rural, those changes obviously go away, because you just struck rural.
The only one is the
Sewer.
I. Okay.
All
Okay.
right, so it's only 570.10I.
That clarifies.
All right.
So that'd be that's the only change left from the amended motion.
So Joanne asked Mike again, his vote?
Michael Huco,
Yes.
Lorraine Lagarde,
Yes.
Norm Farren,
Yes.
Brian Card,
No.
and Keith Thurlow.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
So
The
just,
only,
Go ahead. Now, we gotta set a date now?
Yeah, the suggestion, staff suggestion
forgot that part.
is September 15th.
Just so you know.
and forgot the criteria too. Well, I talked about the criteria.
I can't think of anything. I can barely think of anything
Well,
anymore.
I talked about the criteria.
We need a date set. Yeah.
Suggestion, make a motion to.
Yeah, I'll
set
just make,
effective
I'll
date
make,
and-
the motion, effective date 9/15/25, 12:01 a.m. Believe that
We need a
was,
Need a
second?
second and a vote on it, yes.
Second, his effective date?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? Okay. Set effective date set. So it passed. It's on sewers. There's no rule development with PRD. Okay, now, no new business. Adoption of minutes of the last meeting. I wasn't there. A motion?
You and I are the only.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes from me.
And you gonna second?
Second.
Any discussion from you two?
I,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. We can still approve it.
Yeah. Opposed or abstentions? Okay.
So that was
I
five.
wasn't there, abstentions. Miscellaneous,
Excuse me,
nothing?
excuse me, the meeting's still going on. Can we have quiet in the audience, please? Thank you.
Correspondence, zoning practice edition, Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning Agencies. Anybody got questions? Department of Reports, zoning enforcement officer and zoning board of appeals report.
We did not meet last month. I don't believe we have a meeting this month as well. So I have nothing to report. If there's any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay. Actually, yeah, what, status of Blueville with the mill? Because I don't know if it's an appropriate section, but seems like it to me.
I feel like Jill can probably add a little bit more
Okay,
context for
we'll
that.
just wait for your report
Yep.
then. Which is now.
Blueville Mill. EPA is on site 5 days a week. They have, on the town website, we have a posting. If anyone has any questions or health concerns, there's a number that they can call. All the metal's been removed. Now they're separating out and testing the soils. The soils will start their removal process. It'll be going to Waynesboro, Ohio. It was the closest place they could send it in that bulk. We will be meeting with DEEP next week with EPA to, mitigate any other issues that may have come up during the testing process. We also put in for an application together with NECOG for 185 Broad Street, which is the old community center, and it's just to complete a phase 2 on hazardous building materials. So when that building is vacated, we'll have a remediation plan. As far as new businesses, Five Guys, Starbucks, Jersey Mike's, all have certificate of occupancies. 21 Furnace Street, we have a new business called Lou's Cigar Lounge. We also have a new law firm called Cecilini, and Tilly, and they're located on Main Street. And Gloria's Kitchen has officially moved over to their Dayville location. Our next EDC meeting will be on September 2nd.
So at the Blueville Mill, you got the piles of debris, they're separated, it seems like they got two piles, or there's any significance to the two piles?
So as they go through the layers, they test. Within 24 hours, they have those test results. So if it's hot, they put it in one pile, it's covered. If it's clean, it's being removed off-site.
They were all covered, now they're uncovered, so I'll assume they're clean then,
Correct.
yeah, good. They make a nice pile, though, they're pretty. I've never seen so much detail going into a pile, you see it?
You jealous?
Yeah, I didn't get to do it. Any other questions for economic development? Town council liaison?
From the town council meeting, Renee Mazzarella was reappointed to the KB Ambulance Board, and there was a fuel spill of about 40 gallons at KISS that was quickly taken care of. They do have a, it is on a platform, and everything was taken care of quickly. This DOT Traffic Incident Management Emergency Highway Division Plan Project, they met for local towns along 395 corridor, and it will be evacuation routes. There will be finalized maps that'll be available. And the Killingly Town website should have been up and running today. Okay. It has email news, budget software, a general ledger, and it should be found on ClearGov. And from a special town council meeting, Jill spoke about the grant for the Broad Street. So the town council approved a pass-through grant through NECOG. And we have a new town manager who has been appointed by the town council, Brian Palea. He comes with a lot of experience. He has a lot of experience obtaining, I believe, $200,000 worth of grants, $2 million worth, $200 million worth of grants. So we're excited that he's going to be in Killingly, and he starts on Monday.
Keith, I just want to add two things on the website. So if anyone's interested, you can sign up for email alerts to see when there's new agendas or minutes being posted for various boards and commissions. So there's a nice feature built into the website. And then on wetlands, because I skipped over that one part, wetlands, they did approve the access road for the high school for the lower athletic fields this month.
I got a question. Can you go back to the town, I don't know if it's town council or the town, with the microphones in the town hall when you have a meeting? They're horrible. I couldn't hear it. If you watch it on Facebook, you cannot hear. You got to put closed caption on there to see what people are saying.
So
You
was
talk
it
about town
just,
hall or high school?
Town hall.
Town hall.
was that
The
just the
last
last
meeting.
meeting or all of the meetings? Because I
The
know,
last 3 or 4 that I.
Yeah.
oh, the
listened
last
to.
3 or 4, because I know the last meeting we had a lot of problems
No, there
with
was
it.
before that, if you.
We
put it
did
on
reach
there,
out
you
to the AV tech that's been doing the meetings to readjust some aspects of the board. But the AV room is due for an upgrade. We have all new equipment up there, and it's just a matter of install, which will allow us to access more cameras and better audio quality, similar to what's in this room, the similar setup.
Yeah, because I put on closed caption because couldn't
I-
understand what anybody was
did the
asking.
The last meeting, I was the same.
I did the same.
100% volume and headphones just to be able to hear it. Yep.
I didn't think about the headphones.
Motion to adjourn?
So be.
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Norm. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? Adjourn. Thank you all.